That's the mission. What else do you want them to do? To get there and be like, nah, that.
What do you get
Let's
from
turn
that?
around and go.
What do you get from that?
What? It's a quest. It's
a quest. You can watch Shrek to get a quest. Every ounce of my blood, something. I'll
never give up.
I'm phenomenal. I am phenomenal. Something like that.
Yeah. It's hard to do the Eminem impersonation.
Dude,
have you seen Chris D'Elia's Eminem impersonation? About like whenever he's rapping and he's like doing like saying like napkins and stuff like that. We're in the black in the Bafkin. I'm in the back of the. I don't know what he said. Welcome back to Motion Picture Dogfight.
This is the podcast where we debate your favorite movies, TV shows, and characters.
On today's episode, you already know.
Martian versus Interstellar.
That is correct. I am Team Interstellar.
I'm Team Martian.
Obviously, because I tend to pick the better movies.
I don't know where that comes from. When last week the people had
but you gave it to me.
I gave it to you.
So I mean, at most we could only call that one a tie because you gave it to me.
True. These are some similar movies, though.
They are.
We have some space movies, if you will.
If you will.
I
mean, they are. They are space movies.
But technically, I mean, The Martian's not technically in space. I mean, it's on a planet.
Of course. Where are planets at?
Well, the Earth, are we in space?
Yeah, the Earth is in space. Everything in the universe is in space.
So you're going to say we're not on Earth, we're just in space.
I didn't say that.
You just said it.
I mean, we are in space. Everything is in space. You can't have matter without space to occupy it.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe in the basic laws of
physics? I don't believe in gravity. No, just kidding.
Like the movie or actual gravity, like 9.8 meters per second squared.
I mean, who even needs gravity? Why'd they invent it in the first place?
Did you get that up the H3 one? Or that dumb lady was like, who even invented gravity? Why do we even need it? You should know what gravity is, Trisha.
Yeah.
So why don't you start us off? Why don't you tell us your opening argument for...
See, look, with The Martian, you have to... It has every aspect of what you want in a movie. Everything in it. Like you have a guy that's stranded. He's stranded. You know, everybody in that situation has a chance to either... What he does in the movie is buck up, like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to survive. I'm going to live till soul, whatever. Or you can sit there and say, you know what? They're not coming back for me. I don't know what to do. Just give up. You have that aspect of it. He sits there and survives for, I think it's 500 souls, which is 500 days or something, like almost a year on Mars, waiting for the fact.
500 days would be more than a year.
That's what I said. I said more than a year.
You said almost a year.
Oh, my bad. It's more than a year.
Okay.
But, you have a guy that's sitting there, day in and day out thinking, am I going to be rescued? Am I going to be here forever? It's a movie about guts. It's a movie about determination, survival.
You want to talk about guts? Imagine those same circumstances of I'm stranded, I'm all alone, but going into a fucking black hole rather than a Mars.
Okay, but you have to also sit back and think, which one was voluntary?
What's it matter if it's voluntary or not? If anything, that makes Matthew McConaughey that makes Matthew McConaughey's character of Cooper a lot cooler, that he voluntarily sacrificed himself to be eaten by a black hole to save Anne Hathaway's character.
I don't think it necessarily like a big thing that he did it, because first off, it wasn't even really like what the guy, I forgot what the main guy back on Earth, the whole scientist that thought of it, I don't know what his name is, but he even knew before they even left that none of what they were doing was gonna be okay. Like he knew that it wasn't gonna, nothing was gonna come of it. And he sent them anyway.
But I guess he was wrong.
But you can't, like, there's a difference in the aspect of the movie whenever Matthew McConaughey has every liberty, every right to stay on Earth. He has everything to stay on Earth.
Yeah, but Earth is failing on an ecosystem level.
But you can't even say that he's going to sacrifice himself.
Well, not in the beginning.
Well, I know.
He's not aware that he's going to end up sacrificing himself.
But you can't say like any aspect of it is like you can't say that, oh, he knew that whenever he left his daughter and his son that he was never coming back and all that.
I'm not saying
stuff.
he knew that or anything. I'm just saying.
But I'm saying like that's part of the like what I'm arguing is that
Matt Damon didn't know that either. He didn't know he was going to be stranded there the entire time.
Well, yeah, but whenever he was like that was the whole like he had no choice. Like he had no choice.
Neither did Matthew McConaughey.
Yes, he did.
I mean, he had the choice of like not detaching from the spaceship, and then both him and Anne Hathaway are going to get sucked into the black hole.
No, he had that choice back on Earth. Like they stumbled upon this, like it wasn't like somebody was reaching out to him and saying, "Hey, you're the only guy for the job.
So
you're the only person that can do this."
Why did Matt Damon go to Mars in the first place? What was their mission? Was Earth gonna have a catastrophic failure and everyone on Earth die?
It could have.
No,
it could.
That was not the reason that they went to Mars.
But it could have.
It could have.
Why
but
else
that's
would
not
they
what
have
happened.
gone?
That's not what happened in the movie. It's his whole. He had a choice versus he didn't. Which one is more of a choice? The one where it's like, we're going to go to Mars and just do some, or we need to find another planet because ours is not going to survive.
You're on Mars trying to figure out if it is sustainable.
Yeah, but is their planet actively dying? I don't remember actually. Is it?
I really don't. Honestly, y'all tell us. I have no idea.
We do great research.
No, but like even it, like you put that same thing into the Martian, like you put, if the Earth was failing, say they're at Mars trying to see if Mars is sustainable for life.
Yeah.
Which one is more plausible, it being at Mars or trying to, you have to go and do a sleep for 10 years and then you're able to wake up and then get to the place.
I actually think that Interstellars would be more plausible than trying to habitate Earth in the time frame that they had. You're not going to go terraform Mars with the time frame that they had. The radiation, the heat versus cold difference, the atmospheric difference, it would take so long to terraform Mars. Plus, if you have a wormhole that was just placed on the edge of your galaxy that automatically just took you to possible new Goldilocks zones, yeah, that's probably more of a better bet.
But yeah, like even in Interstellar, though, they never found a place that was habitable.
Because that wasn't the intentions of the wormhole. The people who put it there, they theorized were the humans in a futuristic civilization. They didn't put the wormhole there so that they would find another Earth, another Goldilocks zone planet. They put the wormhole there so that they would find the black hole and so that Cooper would get sucked into it and so that Cooper would be able to communicate the mathematical calculations of the black hole's gravity or whatever was going on inside there to Murph.
Okay, but even if that's correct, even like you say, whenever the movie ended, they whatever found. You say it's a dying planet. They were on that planet that was like, if you were there for a certain amount of hours, it was 7 years back on Earth. How long were they there?
I think like an hour and a half or something.
It was like a long time to where like his kids were grown up. Like they weren't kids anymore. They were like grown up.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if it was a dying planet, you're out there for probably 30 plus years in that movie.
I wasn't saying it was a dying planet as if it was going to die tomorrow, but it was a dying planet, so much so that it was like they had enough time to, go the however many years that they had to sleep just to get to the wormhole, plus all the time that they would have to spend researching, collecting data, and all of this stuff. Like, they had time. It's just the fact that they knew that Earth was, in the span of, I don't remember what it was, but let's just say 100 years. They say 100 years, Earth is going to be terminated. We need to figure out a solution before then. They had enough time to be doing all that stuff. Otherwise there would be no point.
But
if it was like tomorrow, it's like, well, even if we left today, it wouldn't make it.
No, but even if you said, oh, hey, we found one, like that girl that let Matthew, what's her name? That let Matthew McConaughey go? Anne Hathaway's character. Oh, yeah. Anne Hathaway's character.
I don't remember her character. It's like, it's Dr. something.
She let him go. How long was that back? How long was that back on Earth? Probably.
Whenever he got sucked into the black hole?
Yeah, probably what, like 50 years?
Yeah, it was a good amount of time, yeah. Because the black hole's gravity was so intense.
Yeah, but like you can say that about anything, like saying, "Oh, it's a dying planet." What was wrong with the planet whenever they?
It was something about just the ecosystem was failing.
But isn't that with like you could say that about what was making it fail? Like what was so drastic of this is.
I know the winds and the dirt. It's not. I don't know if it was any particular one thing. It was just more of like. I know that for a fact they were running out of farmers, back in one of the very beginning scenes whenever his son is having all these good grades and everything, and the principal's like, yeah, we don't want your kid to go to college. We want him to become a farmer. The world needs more farmers. They were just running out of food. They didn't have enough food, I think was the biggest problem that they had.
Okay.
But I want to go back to something. The whole thing about them being on the planet and the time dilation and stuff like that, you got to give credit where credit is due. And the people that worked on Interstellar actually did their research. And even though you can't technically say that, yeah, that's 100% true, just the fact that they incorporated that and explained it in a manner that most people could perceive it and actually understand it, that's a feat in itself.
It is, but you didn't have to watch Interstellar to understand what was happening.
But did you know anything about the theory of relativity before going into Interstellar?
Yes. Yeah, I did. Space intrigues me. I obviously know that you have to be moving faster than the speed of light to be going forward or like faster than like you have to be going faster than the speed of light speed of light to be going.
You can't go faster than the speed of light.
But I'm saying that's how fast you have to be going faster in time.
But the theory of relativity is not necessarily about the speed of light. It's more about how someone perceives time versus somebody else perceiving time, comparing the different speed at which they're moving or the different gravitational pulls at which they're moving.
Because you have to be going faster than the speed of light.
No.
Yes.
No, because the people on the planet weren't going faster than the speed of light, but it was like they were traveling into the future.
But on that planet, they had to have been traveling faster than the speed of light.
No,
yes.
No. Listen.
That's the only way you can go into the quote unquote future.
It's because the greater the gravitational pull on any object, that object, whether it's a person or whatever it may be, that object will be experiencing time slower than what other objects not getting that same intense gravitational pull will be. So that's why while they were on the planet experiencing that gravitational pull, to them it was only an hour. But to the guy up in the spaceship who wasn't experiencing the gravitational pull, the gravitational pull being from the black hole and everything, the guy on the spaceship didn't experience it as slow because he was out of that gravitational field. Not fully, but he wasn't in as much of a gravitational field as the people on the planet.
So you're saying the less amount of gravity that is applied, the faster time goes.
Relative to somebody else experiencing it with a greater intense gravity. Because it's all relative to something else. Because it's not like a fixed thing to where, time is experienced in the exact same way at the exact same times. Even here on Earth, they've done studies where it's like they've given two people watches calculated to the exact time, and then they wore them for a duration of time and then matched them up, and one person's watch was slower than the other person's watch. So even on Earth, you experience these different speeds and or gravitational pulls that impact your perception of time. So it's not really that time is actually being impacted. It's more about the object relative to another object could be different if they're gravitational differences.
So are you saying that, like, if we went to Venus, if someone went to Venus, they would be experiencing time slower than what would be on Earth?
I don't know. Does Venus have a bigger gravitational pull?
I would assume so.
Which one's closer to the sun?
Is Mercury, Venus.
Okay. So yeah, with it being closer to the sun, you'd get a bigger gravitational pull, and so you would experience time at a slower rate.
See, so that's where I have a problem, because I don't think gravity has anything to do with time.
But it does.
How?
It's been proven.
How?
Through the theory of relativity.
So you're saying if I go out
because
and buy,
space and time are not separable. You have to have, without space you can't have time, and without time you can't have space.
Yeah, nowhere in that you say gravity.
But I'm saying, okay, here's what have you ever seen the experiment where people have like a cloth stretched out over a drum or something, and they put a big old ball in the middle of it, and it dips down?
Yeah.
That's like gravity.
Yeah.
And a black hole, instead of putting a ball there, it'd be like putting an infinite amount of weight in the center of it, to where the closer to the center you got, it just got infinitely stronger and stronger and stronger pull. And so that fabric represents not just the fabric of space, but it represents the fabric of space and time. So it's not just space that's getting bent, it's space and time interwoven with each other that's getting bent and distorted. That's why gravity has an effect on time relative to other people with different types of gravity.
So speed has nothing to do with it.
Well, people going faster experience time in a different way than people who don't go as fast. So speed is a way. But if you think about it, gravity is just an acceleration constant.
Well, I know, but in Interstellar, like whenever they got on that plane, it wasn't because of a black hole.
The time dilation?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
No,
That's the whole reason. Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
What else is creating that gravitational pull on the planet? That's the whole...
It was because of different atmosphere.
No. Because if you look at it, the black hole, that's why they go into that whole thing of like, you're going to experience time in a different way, because they were so close to that black hole, its gravitational pull. Like the wave on it. You remember the wave?
Yeah.
The wave was so big, it wasn't actually it was a tidal wave. It wasn't a tsunami or anything like that created by the forces of an earthquake. It was a tidal wave that was literally being pulled off of the planet by how strong the gravity was coming from the black hole. That's why it was so huge. And so even though the entire planet was water, or it seemed like it was water, they were standing in like 3 feet of water, and then you have this huge wave. That's because at whichever direction that Earth is planet is rotating, whichever direction or whichever side of that planet is in line with the black hole, that's the side that's going to have that distended wave on it. It's just like here on Earth with the moon, where you get the tidal waves from the gravity from the moon. So you're
saying if we had a stronger gravitational pull from the moon, time would be a lot different? We would age a lot faster?
Not necessarily. Because relative to ourselves, because there's nothing to compare it to. You know what I'm saying? With relativity, you have to have something to compare it to. Like if you were going to compare it to our current gravitational pull versus if we had an extreme, like black hole, interstellar style gravitational pull, relative to our current situation, then yes, we would experience time like they did on that planet, where they experienced only an hour, but on the outside of that gravitational force, it was a lot more than an hour relative to the people on the planet. But if gravity changed right now, like we would feel the effects of it, but just like if it changed and somehow or way we didn't feel the increased gravitational pull, we would have no way of knowing that time is moving differently. Like obviously you can, look at the sun and how Earth is rotating and stuff like that. But just from ourselves, like if you were locked in a room, how would you know? You wouldn't know. It would just be like, oh, we did this podcast for an hour. And it's like, well, maybe to you it's an hour, but maybe to people, 1 million light years away, that was 100,000 years. because y'all's gravitational pull is a lot stronger than theirs.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying about the whole, like, it's just because a million light years away, their speed of which they rotate and
it could affect it.
Yeah, but not their gravity. Like, what if a million light years away they had the same gravitational pull that the moon has? Would they be experiencing time the same way that we do?
It would also depend on their star and how big their star is, and and
that goes into
the
speed.
Distortion.
Like how fast you're going.
But that they weren't trying to talk about necessarily the speed of it. They were trying to show people theory of relativity through the lens of the gravitational pull that a black hole has, and just how immense of a gravity that black hole is exerting onto that planet. That's what they were trying to convey. It wasn't that the planet was moving at an extreme pace. It's that the planet was experiencing a force that was so immense that it distorted time and made it to where they were experiencing it at a much slower rate relative to the people back on Earth. So
why was that the only planet? Like, all three of those planets were close to the black hole.
Because it's more... I believe it's more of like an exponential thing. Like, yes, they were all close to the black hole, but if you think about the guy who was on the spaceship, he didn't experience time anywhere near how fast they experienced it because they were actually on the planet. And so he experienced it closer to what the people on Earth were experiencing it.
Yeah, but they're in the same vicinity as the black hole.
And I don't know for sure exactly why that is the case. Movie magic a little bit, I guess. Because the truth of the reality is, if you were anywhere near that black hole, the gravitational force would be so immense that you would be crushed instantly, even that far away. But it's just movie. You got to give it some liberties. Yeah. As Neil deGrasse says, get your facts straight and then distort them at your leisure.
But see, I don't even know how we got on that big of a debate about.
I don't know.
Anyway, about the Martian. No.
But realistically, if you want to talk about realism in The Martian and how they applied stuff, dude, he would have died so fast.
How though?
Radiation. The radiation from the sun onto Mars is so... Even if they had a suit, even if they had a magical suit that would block all this radiation, this constant radiation, think about all the time he was outside.
Yeah.
Even if they had a suit and a lens on his face mask that would block the ultraviolet rays, whenever he got into the spaceship and after that thing blew up and he just had a tarp sitting there, like if he came anywhere near that, it would like give him crazy radiation sickness.
But
because that tarp's not stopping ultraviolet rays. A lot of stuff doesn't stop ultraviolet rays. And you got to think about how bad it hurts to get a sunburn on Earth, and imagine being hundreds of thousands, I don't even know, maybe millions, probably maybe miles closer to the source, and imagine how bad that sunburn is going to be.
But you're not closer to the source, you're further away from it.
Are you?
From Mars?
Oh yeah, you're right. Damn, you got me on that one, you son of a... Yeah, okay.
No, see, but like, in both movies, obviously there's going to be some, I wouldn't say not true, but like movie aspect to it, where it's like, obviously, if you put a fucking tarp over that, and then there's just fucking space in a tarp, obviously that's not probably going to work.
Yeah, that's true.
But everything else in that was a very, very, like how he's a botanist. Goes out, gets all the, from all the other fucking people there.
Yeah.
Plants there. I mean, obviously, I'm not a soil expert, but
you're not. Dang, those accolades were fake.
They were. I know. I put it on my resume. But
it said BSS, bachelor's of soil sciences,
soil science.
Yeah.
No, but anyway, even if like you say Mars was, they've even proven that there has been water on Mars. So I would assume that enough soil or some soil would be able to grow.
Do you know the water on Mars is frozen?
No, I did not know that.
You know why it's frozen?
Why?
I believe it's because the atmospheric pressure of Mars is just insanely low.
Yeah.
And so water...
that.
Wait. Actually, that would mean it would boil. So I think all the underground water is frozen. But that's why there's no water on the surface of Mars.
It's so hot.
Well, not so much that, but like the atmospheric pressure, because it also gets super cold, you know, like it just depends on which side of the sun you're on.
Yeah, extreme hots and colds.
But it's because the atmospheric pressure of Mars is so low that it just boils away regardless of the temperature.
It shows that in the movie. It shows how intensely hot it gets and intensely cold it gets.
Yeah.
That's a realistic factor of it.
But what about, doesn't he duct tape his shield whenever it breaks? That would not work.
But, I mean, if you say...
You would get, that duct tape would get sucked off.
No, I mean, if it cracked...
Yeah.
I mean...
It'd be like getting a hole in a spaceship in the vastness of space.
But, like, it's not a hole. It's just a crack.
Well, even if it's a crack, if it goes all the way clear through, some air is going to get through there. And eventually it's going to be like, you think about a cracked windshield on an airplane, right? If you crack a windshield, it may not bust. But if it goes all the way through and there's even a sliver of daylight to get through there, it's going to bust and suck shit out.
But just like you said, if there's a sliver, it could have not. It could have just cracked.
I mean, if I remember correctly, I could hear air escaping from his helmet. Yeah, so if that was the case, it would have just... and then his blood would have boiled out of his body and he would have froze to death.
No, but I mean, like, obviously there are some aspects of, like, you know, Hollywood trying to make it kind of...
And with space movies, you can only get so critical.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't...
Like we know the facts. Like, we're scientists.
Yeah.
We're just bullshitters.
Like that whole movie Gravity, you know, like, the chances of someone getting back to Earth after their
it'd be cool.
I mean, it'd be badass, but like, there's probably a 0.00000000000.
I want to put that on a loop for like 5 minutes.
No, but like, if you're gonna watch a space movie and connect with it more, The Martian has that by a landslide.
No, no. It just depends on who you are as a person. Like, who is the demographic for The Martian? A farmer who loves space?
No, it's for everybody. Like,
I guess that would be the same for Interstellar.
Yeah,
since they're
exactly.
farmers. Both of these movies is just a farmer, an astrophysicist farmer.
Matt Damon, not even the fact that he got stuck on Mars. He was like, you know what? I'm going to get shipped back to outer space to try to find this planet. You know, he was like,
that's true.
I'm going back into Interstellar.
I know, right? And I'm going to trick all these motherfuckers and make them come get me. And I'm going to push Matthew McConaughey off a cliff.
I know. Like, this guy.
I know. How weird is that Matt Damon is in both of those?
Both of them. Both, like, not similar movies, but, like, outer space.
Yeah. And I don't think they came out, like, super close to each other, but, like, fairly close as far as, like, movies go. They're pretty close.
If you say, who's it relate to, you sit back and think about anybody that, a survivor, somebody that, like...
When have you ever survived?
I'm saying in general... I'm saying in general.
But when have you ever been in a situation where you were like, oh, I got to grow some fucking potatoes or I'm going to die?
At least I know now.
You know how to grow a potato on Mars?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Walk me through that process.
You go out there, you get a little bit of soil, you know? You go out there.
What do you got to do to the soil? The soil's not growing shit.
I go take a shit real quick and get some fertilizer. Then I go out there, get a flame going, get some condensation going down.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, get some water going.
And then it's going to blow up like it did him.
Hell yeah.
God, you act like you're Survivor Man or something, like anybody who's ever had to survive or anything. Okay. You act like everybody's gotten lost in the jungle at some point in their life.
But it's a better connection about going, oh, hey, I'm going to go to space and I'm going to sit in a capsule for 9 months.
That was like 2 minutes of the movie. The rest of it was not them sleeping in a capsule. The rest of it was them going through the wormhole.
But that's the first part of, would you really be able to slip into a fucking coma and not age?
In the future, yeah. It never said they never aged because the guy on the spaceship, whenever they were on the planet with the time dilation and everything, he aged, and he said that he slept for a while. It's not so much that they're aging, it's just that they go into a coma so that they experience it in a different way. Kind of like their relativity.
But I'm saying we barely got people to the moon. Barely.
Okay.
How do you think we're even
if you could get to Mars, you could get to the end of the galaxy.
The end of the galaxy. Like, we're one planet over.
Yeah.
There's what?
Like, if you have the ability to get
Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and then you got to get past Pluto.
I don't know exactly where in the galaxy it was. It might have been like past a certain planet or something. But if you could get to one planet, you can get to them all. It'd be all right. Yeah.
Okay, you a while ago said,
and you also act like this wasn't set in a futuristic civilization where they have the shit to do this.
What part of if it was so in the future, how was Earth failing?
What do you mean, how is Earth failing? Global warming, all of the ecosystem that we're fucking up on right now. We're not fixing. It just snowballed into a point where Mother Nature was like, you get out of here.
So you're saying like an Elon Musk isn't coming around saying, oh, we're going to do electric cars. Oh, we're going to do these electric plants that could probably
run. Not in the movie. They didn't base it off of current Earth.
No,
they
but
based it on their own plot.
You act like we're going into the future and going to digress.
Why did the Martian have to?
Huh?
Why did the Martian have to go to Mars? You said that because
right now people we're trying to go to Mars. So
it was just simply just to go.
No, I'm not saying that it's simply just to go. But I'm saying
it was like a second thought.
What in 1969 or whatever, whenever they said, "Oh, we're going to go to the moon," they just said, "Oh, we're going to go to the moon."
Well, that had different circumstances
How?
with other countries trying to get there, and we were doing like wars. It was like a pissing contest for the world.
Okay, yeah, pissing contest. What's a better pissing contest than saying, "Oh, the United States made it to Mars"?
What's a better pissing contest? Saying that, oh, we made it to Mars, or saying, oh, we made it to a different world with a black hole for a sun?
What's more realistic?
We're not talking realistic.
No, I am.
Why?
Because
obviously going one door down is a little bit more realistic than going halfway across the universe.
Exactly.
But it's not about being realistic. It's about being entertaining. And not even entertaining. When you watch Interstellar, it's an experience. It's not just a movie. The visual effects, the soundtrack, Hans Zimmer?
Oh my God.
Mr. Zim? Are you kidding me right now?
This guy over here talking about a soundtrack.
It's a big sound is so much to the movie. So much to the movie.
Oh yeah,
sound.
whenever there's not anything good in the movie.
Oh. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah,
you know what the Martian is? The Martian is just Survivor Man on a different planet. With what did he sprinkle on his potatoes? Hydrocodone?
When's it been done?
Never.
Exactly.
Because it's not realistic.
How's it not realistic?
Because no one's been to fucking Mars.
Nobody's been to another galaxy.
So neither of ours is realistic. So bringing realism into this is bull.
Which one's more realistic?
I mean, you never know. If a wormhole pops up tomorrow in the middle of outer space, it might be like, well,
we're going to be like, oh, let's hop on a plane, put ourselves in a coma for 9 years, and then we'll make it there.
Yeah, maybe. Why not? People induce comas right now. Why couldn't we do it to get to a different galaxy?
Because they can't get themselves out of an induced coma.
Yeah, they could.
No, they couldn't.
It'd be on a computer system saying, "Oh, stop the drugs at this time."
In
10 years.
Whenever you're 9 billion miles away, you're gonna type into a computer.
It's already pre-programmed. We're getting into the minutia, dude. We don't need to talk about what the exact computer. They're not running Microsoft Excel to get their selves out of a coma, bro. It's not a PowerPoint presentation.
We don't even know if Bill Gates is running Microsoft at this time.
That's true.
That is true.
What does that have to do with anything?
I was just saying a computer system. Okay, but if look, the Martian, it shows you. Why are you looking at me like that?
Just waiting for you to say something.
Let me take I gotta get my pipes all lubed up. You know what I mean?
Lube it up. Get ready for this thrashing you're about to take.
See, look, whenever you talk about the Martian, it's easy to talk about, look, you can get perseverance, determination, all sorts of aspects from this movie and apply it to your everyday life.
Okay, with Interstellar, you can get, sometimes you have to leave your child for the greater good.
Oh, my God.
You can get, sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself for the greater good of somebody else, putting somebody else above your own.
Who?
Anne Hathaway, he launched himself into a black hole, an abyss.
Okay, we're getting into some.
You started it.
No,
about the lessons you learned in the movie.
Yeah, but you can take that into everyday life. Like, oh, I'm sitting here surviving for my family, like so my family can sit here and eat. So
that's the exact same thing. It's like I'm sitting here surviving for my family. I'm doing this for the entire human race, though.
You get that for Interstellar.
Yeah, you can even see that with
halfway through Interstellar, you forget that Earth is in trouble. You just think, oh, hey, I'm on a spaceship.
Yeah, that's how good the quest is. You forget about the problem, and you're more focused on the journey that they're having.
You're just worried about, oh, hey, there's a planet. Let's go search that. Oh, hey, there's another planet. Let's go search that.
That's the whole reason why they're doing it. That's the mission. What else do you want them to do?
What do you get from
get there and be like, nah, that.
What do you get
from that? Let's turn around and go.
What do you get from that?
What? It's a quest. It's
a quest. You can watch Shrek to get a quest.
And Shrek is a good movie.
It's a good ass movie.
You learn a lot from Shrek when you're growing up. How to be a good friend. What bad friends do. About, you want to make some waffles? No, get the out of here.
Ogres have layers.
You know,
that's what I got from it.
Yeah. Like an onion. Yeah.
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 You cut it open. You don't have to pull back. You just sometimes use a knife. Get on through those layers.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But you learn even loyalty. You can learn loyalty from the guy. Imagine that guy in the spaceship waiting 20 whatever years, and he's just like, I bet they're fucking dead. But he stood there. He stood his ground, waiting for his friends.
Okay, that's completely different. Saying, oh, I'm going to wait here for 20 years on the sheer aspect of trying to survive.
Yeah.
And then what's he do whenever they get there? He tries to fucking kill Matthew McConaughey.
What? Oh, I'm talking about the guy who's waiting on the spaceship for them while they're on that water planet. Not Matt Damon. I'm saying that guy stayed there the entire time they were on that water planet. Saw that huge wave coming, and then just and he's like, "Damn, this probably."
He did not sit
Where
there.
Else is he go? Why not turn
space.
around and go back to the wormhole? It's either that or through the black hole, Satan's little asshole over there.
Okay, he's not sitting on that fucking ship seeing, oh, hey, there's a big wave. Oh, hey,
if it was that big, you might see it. If it was that big.
Okay, did you not see how hard it was for them to get to that fucking planet in the first place?
Yeah.
How do you think that motherfucker was up there trying to see him go?
Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, exactly.
But he still waited there, and that's even more impressive. He didn't know what the hell was going on, but he waited. Because he's a good friend.
How's that more impressive than a dude sitting there?
I'm not saying it's more impressive. You just want to talk about the morals and the things you might learn from it.
Sitting there surviving on a fucking planet that's not
surviving
Earth.
For yourself rather than having to try and survive for the entire human race, which is better. Oh, Matt Damon was pretty selfish in The Martian.
Oh.
I just want to survive so that I could get back home, and I'm going to put all my other friends in jeopardy for them to have to turn around, slingshot their asses right back to me. I might as well just...
Tell me what happened in Interstellar. Did they find a planet?
No, because that wasn't the reason. They found something better. They found the solution to their problems to be able to formulate a donut world that they could have multiple of orbiting the different planets in our galaxy, and they didn't have to worry about finding another planet because they had the calculations from whenever Cooper got sucked into the black hole and put it into the little watch.
To live in a spaceship.
It's not, I mean, it's a spaceship, but it's like a donut. It's a Earth. It's just that they...
It's Halo. No, okay. You would rather sit there and say, "Oh yeah, they saved Earth." Whenever, it was just, let's launch ships up into the sky and.
Yeah, I would rather have someone be like, "Oh, we saved the human race," rather than be like, "We saved."
But did they though?
Guy on Mars?
But did they though?
What do you mean, but did they? Yes, they're all okay.
How do you know that?
Because you see it at the end of the movie. All these people are playing baseball. You see the kids in the baseball field. They hit it. It goes up. It breaks a window up top. And he goes and sees Murph. And she's all fucking old and everyone's all good. They're all happy.
But are they happy, though?
I don't know about the emotional dilemmas that each of these people face in their everyday lives. I didn't take a fucking poll on the donut world.
Well, you might as well have.
Are you truly, on a scale of 1 to 10, how happy are you really that you survived?
Yeah. Are you really happy that you're living in space right now, that when you can be back on Earth?
I bet you they're a lot happier than if they were dead.
Would they be dead, though?
Maybe. That was the whole point of them going to space, is because they were going to be dead.
They could have been.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And what is the worst thing that could have came out of The Martian? Matt Damon could have died. One person. Big whoop. Let him go.
Oh, you're going to just let an astronaut die out there?
I mean, I wouldn't prefer that, but if it was a matter of like, if it was like him or the entire human race, it'd be like, yeah.
But it's groundbreaking.
How is it groundbreaking?
Surviving on Mars?
Yeah.
For
compare
over
that
a
to
year and a
surviving
half?
a black hole.
He didn't survive a black hole.
Yes, he did. He gets shot out the end whenever at the very end after he encodes it into the watch, into the second hand. He goes and sees Murph whenever she's super old at the end of the movie. He gets shot out and they find him and they're like, oh my God, it's Cooper. He survives it.
So you're saying that part of it is better than sitting there surviving for your life, doing all this kind of stuff on a planet that nobody could probably survive from.
I'm not saying that specific part is better. But I am saying that the entire movie of Interstellar is better than just watching Survivor Man Outer Space Edition.
How?
That's exactly what that is.
No, it's not.
It's like watching Les Stroud if he was plopped onto Mars.
Okay, so you're saying that it's more entertaining or more anything than to watch some dude, oh, hey, we're going to go to this planet. Oh, hey, we're going to go to this planet. Oh, you know what?
Oh, hey, we're trying to save the human race. No big deal. Yeah.
Save the human race. You can't bring that into it.
Why? That's what happened in the movie. They weren't just going, hopping around like they were bar hopping down the downtown strip or something. They were trying to hop and go to planets to figure out where they could live, where they could save the entire human race from. It wasn't just like a cool thing to do at the time.
But you also have to think that surviving on, like, they went voluntarily. How, like, imagine being involuntarily try to survive on Mars.
How other way are you going to be surviving on Mars? Are you voluntarily going to be like, yeah, throw me up there?
Oh, yeah. Throw me up there with, like, all this food and everything. I'll live there for, a couple months.
You would volunteer for that?
Yeah. Who wouldn't?
Me.
Why not?
It's dangerous. And you'll die. 100% you'll die.
You can walk out this door right now and get hit by a truck.
Yeah, but you're not going to walk out that door and get radiation sickness. You're not going to walk out that door and have your blood boil out of your
far into the future, they're going to have suits that doesn't have radiation sickness.
So you're going to wear a suit the entire time?
Yeah.
What if something happens and it gets blown up? And then you're hustling and bustling trying to find a suit, putting your mask on, and by that time you're dead.
What if you're trying to get out into the outer space and your ship breaks down and you can't get to the halo?
Yeah, we could talk about this all day.
Yeah.
We could talk about what
But
ifs.
The Martian is a lot better.
No.
What?
I don't know what you're talking about.
What do you get from Interstellar that's so much better?
An experience. A crazy entertaining movie. Visual effects that will blow your nuts off. A soundtrack that is an orgasm to the ears. You get Matthew McConaughey. You get Anne Hathaway. You get some other people that I don't remember the names of, but they're good in it, all right? You get all these things, and they're mixing in a pot, and what the final product is an amazing brain stew for you to digest.
Okay, so you get The Martian.
Yeah.
Where you sit there, determination.
Oh.
What?
No, keep going. I'll let you finish.
You get the determination, the satisfactory of working towards a goal, like all sorts.
What are you describing? A little league team?
What are you describing? Everything. All you can say is, the goal of Interstellar was saving mankind.
Why are you putting that in quotes? That was the goal, and that also is a pretty big deal.
But is it realistic?
What do you mean is it realistic? You go into every movie where they're trying to save the human race and be like, yeah, come on, everyone's going to die?
Yeah.
Come on, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you go into a Marvel movie, is there really people is there a Hulk in the world?
This ain't a Marvel movie.
No, but I'm saying, is it realistic?
No.
They're saving the human race.
Yeah. I think a big, green, muscly dude that gets angry and strong is pretty realistic.
Exactly. And they're trying to save the human race.
But that's not the point. It's just
what's the point?
It's not about saving the human race is going to be realistic.
Tell me without saying anything about saving mankind about this movie.
I told you, soundtrack, beautiful soundtrack.
Okay, because there's a lot more to a movie than a
visual
soundtrack.
Effects, beautiful, way better than The Martian. You can't tell me that going through that wormhole, no one's ever seen shit like that before, and they got it so right. They made it a sphere rather than just a dumbass circle, because in space it would actually be a sphere.
Oh, that's so hard. Generate that on a fucking computer.
Apparently it is hard because no one's done it up until this point. They've always just had a little dot. You just go through the hole and then boom, you end up on the other side.
Yeah,
but that's not how it would actually be.
15 different Marvel movies that do that kind of shit.
I know, and they're not realistic, remember?
Oh, yeah, realistic, whatever.
Yeah. It is realistic. And it's not even so much that it's like, yeah, that's realistic because I've tested it and that's 100% realistic. They did enough homework for people to be able to watch it and not be caught up in the thing of like, I don't think that would really happen. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, obviously there is some movie magic aspects to it where it's like, yeah, that's not technically how that would go down and everything.
Yeah.
But there's also enough realistic math to it to where it's just like, or even just practicality to it where it's like somebody who's generally sensible about math and science and everything and astronomy could sit there and be like, that's pretty cool that they included it that way. That's pretty cool that they're, showing this how it probably would actually be represented. Even if they're not getting it 100% correct, they're getting it close enough to where you can find peace in the fact that they did their homework, but then you can also find excitement in the fact that there's a little bit of fiction sprinkled into it. Like Salt Bay.
So you're saying that in The Martian, none of that's true?
I'm not saying that it's not.
No, but I'm trying to understand.
There are aspects of it that is not true, like the radiation probably would have killed him. Yeah,
and there's some aspects of Interstellar that aren't true.
I'm not arguing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
so
100%.
So tell me something else that is not the same as The Martian.
Okay, just the emotional impact of seeing your kids not only having to leave them for God knows how long, but also leaving them, going to a planet, and then getting off, and only an hour's passed for you, but 30 years has passed for them?
Voluntarily.
Yeah, he volunteered. He volunteered for a big whoop. That makes it even better.
How?
Because it means that he was willing to sacrifice his life and his time with his kids for the greater good of humanity.
It wasn't even his kid.
It was his kids.
He was selfish.
It was his kids.
He was selfish enough to do that on his own.
Why? How do you think he's selfish?
Because he even said, like, in the movie, he wasn't going to do it. He had no intention of going back into a spaceship. All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All that. And then he wanted to. If he was thinking about his kids or anything, he wouldn't have done that.
And no. But what about the end of the movie? Whenever he's like, comes to the realization that, it was him the whole time talking to Murph. I was her ghost, all of this stuff and everything like that. That's pretty impactful.
It's not impactful. What? He pushed a book off a f***ing shelf?
Yeah, he did. And can you imagine pushing a book off of a shelf in a fifth dimension in a tesseract of a black hole?
Was that realistic though?
I don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe not.
Yeah.
That's what's so good about Interstellar, because
the
they
whole
did. But
back
here's the thing. Here's the thing. Most space movies, no matter what Murph is
yeah,
Cooper's
there is.
our ghost.
I was like, shit. Never mind. I take everything back.
Realistic. It's realistic. No. What was I going to say? Interstellar does a good enough job about doing their homework and getting things right or correct enough to the point where at the end of the movie, you could see this mind-boggling cube tesseract shape in the inner workings of a black hole. And you could sit there and be like, instead of a normal space movie where you'd be like, oh, that's cool, definitely not real, you could be like, that's pretty cool. I wonder if it really would be like that. Yeah. I wonder if that's actually how it would go. And that's one of the few space movies that does that gives you that feeling of like, it really makes you scratch your head about like, I really wonder.
Yeah. It kind of sounds like The Martian too.
The Martian, sure, you could say that about like, it's realistic enough and everything. But then at the same time, it's like, which is cooler to theorize and to think about? Being able to survive on a planet next door, or being able to survive a singularity of a black hole where you incorporate, where you find yourself in a tesseract of not only space and time, but time is its own dimension.
But see, that's what makes The Martian good, is that he didn't have a choice.
Why does that make it better than him having a choice?
Because whenever you're stuck, whenever you're pushed into a corner, you try to figure out ways to get out of it. Matthew McConaughey never was pushed into a fucking corner like, oh, hey, like you got to do this.
His corner was, people are eventually going to die here. We need you to go. Are you going to go or not? That was his corner.
Oh, yeah, but after that, it was like, oh, let's go here. Oh, let's go that. Oh, I'm going to go through this black hole. Everything's going to be fine.
He didn't know everything was going to be fine. He sacrificed himself.
Oh, yeah.
If you had going into that, he would have had to have had some experience. And from the common perception of scientists today, black holes, eventually your body will get ripped apart, shred by shred, as the gravitational force exponentially increases as you're going. So you will get pulled so thin that you'll rip in half. That's probably what he was thinking was going to happen to him, but he still pushed the button and was like, deuces, Hathaway.
So you're saying that he could have made it through a black hole. A human could have made it.
Where did you think I get that from?
You just said it.
I'm saying him detaching from the spaceship to save Anne Hathaway. He did not think he was going to get out of there. I promise you. He was like, I'm going to die, but at least you'll get out. Boop. Push the hole.
So you didn't think in The Martian he thought that every single day?
There was a sliver of hope. If you're falling into the abyss of a black hole, there is no hope.
Oh, there's no hope?
No.
But all the hope that you just said, possibly, this could possibly happen, but this could possibly happen too. I'm not saying
it as like I've done the math and it might be true. I'm saying it's cool to have that bewilderment about you about like, well, maybe, what if it is that way? Because we truly don't know. But just strictly sticking to the numbers and doing the math, you will die going into a black hole. Most likely.
Most likely.
Yeah, because you have to say most likely, because you don't know with 100% certainty what's at the end, because you can't gain any data from what's inside of a black hole.
So you're saying that without 100% certainty, you know that you're going to survive living on Mars.
Oh. I'm not saying with 100% certainty you know you're going to survive. I'm just saying the survivability probability, that's pretty good, of being stranded on Mars by yourself with, various equipment and supplies, as low as they may be, various equipment and supplies, versus being sucked into a black hole to almost certain death. Yeah, the probability of survivability is a lot higher getting stuck on Mars and having your buddies coming back around to get you versus surviving a black hole.
But you can't even say going through a black hole made you almost experience death, because did it show that in the movie? Or did he just go through it and just like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? Went through this black hole.
I mean, yeah. That's true.
So in that movie, I think, oh, yeah, I could go in outer space. I'll drive through this. I'll get out the other side. What? You just said, you have to have the knowledge of going through a black hole.
No,
you have
I'm not
to know
saying
about
that
this.
you personally. I'm saying if you're an astronaut and you are going to a place where you know that there is a black hole for sure, you're going to get brushed up on the topic before you go.
So you're saying
so he knew going in that he was going to die.
That, there's probably a 5% chance.
Not even
that, but he survived.
Yeah. That's the craziness. That's that 0.00000 infinite zeros 1% that you're like, What if that really is it? What if? But you know what? We'll never know. You know why we'll never know? Because you can't gain data from a black hole. You can get data from Mars. You can figure out how you're going to survive and all that stuff. But exactly. That's what makes Interstellar so great, because no matter who you are, what you say, you could be Neil deGrasse Tyson for all I care. You can't tell me that Interstellar is improbable, because no one knows. And if anyone tells you that without a shadow of a doubt, 100%, they know for sure that Interstellar's ending not true, they're lying to you, because no one knows.
Okay, yeah, no one knows. Exactly. Yeah, no one knows.
What?
But with The Martian, that's a very probable thing to happen.
Maybe in the future, yeah.
So
what about why just because it's probable means that it's a better movie?
Yeah, because it shows everything that a movie needs. You sit there and have a main character sit there and not know, oh, hey, day by day, I don't know if I'm going to live. Oh, hey, I need to do this to survive. Oh, hey, I need to do this to get where I need to get. I have to have this intelligence to know I'm going to run this battery this far to get back and do this. What?
What's more probable? A stupid shark movie where they're hunting them, or Avatar?
More probable?
Yeah.
A shark movie.
So you would say, through your comparisons, the more probable the movie, the better the movie?
Well, it depends on how you relate to it.
Well, what if someone got their hand bitten off by a shark?
Then that's relatable.
Nobody's relating to Avatar.
Nobody relates to it.
Exactly. But so you would say that compared to anything that has to do with human beings, Avatar is always going to come second?
I'm saying how you perceive the movie. Like, if I were to sit back and watch a movie that I have more connection to, yeah, I would love that movie a lot more than Avatar. Because I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, I go to sleep and I wake up in another body. A guy that's sitting there watching a shark movie that doesn't have a arm, oh, yeah, I relate to this because I don't have a arm.
So would you say you relate to just putting your relation theory aside for a second, would you say if you didn't relate, what, bro?
Bro, a movie is all about relation. You watch a movie to relate to it.
All right. I feel you on that one. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say the argument I was going to pose next probably isn't the best, so I'll just stop it right there.
Yeah.
You just want to go to the votes?
No. I
no,
ain't
you're
done.
not done?
No.
All right.
I'm barely getting started.
Oh, okay. All right, what you got then, big boy?
So let's debate characters.
Go for it.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah.
Or Matt Damon.
This is hard because it really is like The Martian is a long episode of Survivor Man in an environment that no one's ever been. And it's probably 85% of the movie is just him by himself taking up the entire screen. So in comparison of like in just substance that one character provides to the movie, you have to give it to Matt Damon just because it's just him for most of the movie.
But that takes a lot to even though the whole movie's about him, none of it to me was like a down moment. Like usually sometimes whenever you get these movies that it's just one, like Gravity, whenever it was just Sandra Bullock the whole time, it got kind of boring because it was just like a close up on her face. It was just like going back and forth, kind of saying the same stuff.
Yeah.
But like with Matt Damon, it was like every scene he was figuring out something. It was every scene, oh, this machine's here so I can talk to NASA. Oh, this rover's here so I'm going to drive it this far and then back. Well,
you could say the same thing about Cooper, about him having to come up with all these problems. Like whenever he had to match the spin of the spaceship after it got blown up by Dr. Mann, that was Matt Damon's character. Dr. Mann, it got blown up and it was like spinning and he had to match the spin of it. He had to figure out stuff like that too. And it's not in the exact same way that The Martian had to.
But what's more impressive, somebody that
Honestly,
nobody has ever survived on Mars, and you have to try to survive.
Probably,
or somebody
who's gone through
famous. That's famous for piloting an aircraft.
Oh, somebody that's if you're going to put anybody on the Martian, of course you're going to want to put a botanist, because at least they have the knowledge to create their own food. Otherwise, you're But I'm saying it's probably more impressive to match the speed and torque at which they were having to go, and have the ability to not pass out and be like, okay, we're there, and then finally pass out. That was pretty amazing.
Oh, yeah, from whenever they said, oh, yeah, you're the best pilot we've ever seen. Oh, you're the best everything that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
On the Martian, it was like, oh, yeah, we're just sending a botanist.
Oh, did they say he sucked? Like, oh, this guy can't even grow corn.
Who said he was the best?
Probably NASA.
Who said that? Who said that? It was in the movie.
Who are you going to call?
Ghostbusters.
Who are you going to give a call to, huh? You going to give a call to the local farmer who just grew a bushel of corn? Or are you going to give a call to the lead botanist for your first expedition, your first voyage to Mars? You're not going to send just Joe Schmo off the street because he has a bag of apples.
If, say, you want to go be let's say a veterinarian.
Yeah.
You want to go be that here, and you become the best veterinarian in the area, in the world, whatever.
Okay.
But they have a veterinarian that they've been teaching since 18 about space veterinary.
Yeah.
Are they going to pick you, or are they going to pick the person they've been training in space veterinary medicine?
Space veterinary guy. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah. I'm not saying you're going to send the best botanist in the world. You're just going to send the guy that you've been training to go to space.
Which makes him the best candidate for that position.
How?
Because he's knowledgeable. You could send the best veterinarian in the world, but if they've never seen an alien dog before, they're going to be like, I don't know what to do. So obviously they're not the best candidate. And most likely, if you're the best candidate to go into space and you're the best veterinarian or farmer for the space environment, you're probably the best veterinarian or space or farmer in the world. Otherwise, they wouldn't even waste their time with you.
But they never in the movie said he was the best.
They didn't say he wasn't the best.
They never said he was.
Well,
but in Interstellar,
Interstellar,
they said, "Oh, you're the best pilot we've ever had go through this program."
Yeah, it feels good to get compliments.
Yeah, but they know he's the best pilot.
Yeah, and they needed him, so they brought out the big guns.
Yeah,
for the one thing that they knew that could save the human race.
The other Mars mission, the one that they sent 3 years ago, that could have had the best botanist on it, and this guy was like the second one.
That's true.
Yeah, so he could have not been the best one.
Fair point.
Yeah. But whenever in the movie they say, oh, you're the best pilot, it's probably easier.
How did we even start this? What's the point here?
Because you said it's easier or it's harder for the best pilot you've ever seen match the spin or whatever to whatever that was, rather than a botanist trying to survive on Mars.
I still think so. But anyways.
So
why don't you just read the damn votes?
Hey, you can kiss my ass, okay?
I already know that I won, probably, maybe, hopefully.
Let's see here.
What's the percentages?
So,
yes. What's the percentage?
I will say on mine, I kind of like how we've just been posting to our social media pages and stuff, getting votes. Mine was a tally of about 60 voters, and about 46 voted for Interstellar. So about 14? Yeah, 14 voted for The Martian.
So what were the percentages?
It didn't show percentages.
Oh, okay. 46 to 14?
Yeah, it just shows votes.
Oh, 46 to 14.
I know that's
got to be like 70 or 80%.
Yeah.
That is a wallop.
It is a wallop, but honestly
wow. I thought that I was going to win, but that's
I will say Interstellar is a great movie.
Better?
No, it's not better. It is a great movie. Watch my word. I said a great movie, but I never said it was better.
Okay.
But, I guess the aspect of, going through a fucking wormhole and showing all these fucking mind-boggling coordination, like what you were saying, just like, I guess that would probably pull more people towards
Put it over the top.
Yeah.
I really think that it's just more of a total package experience.
Yeah.
Because you do have to think about the soundtrack and the visual effects and everything like that.
Oh, yeah.
And when you hear that soundtrack of Hans Zimmer in the movie theater with the huge speakers and the bass is just rumbling your whole body, it immerses you in a way that it's hard to get that type of, it's hard to elicit that type of reaction from a viewer.
That is true.
So I think that just the experience that people got when they first saw it is what pushed them over the edge.
That's true.
But
that's very true.
Guys, everybody, if you like this video, please like, subscribe, comment, do whatever the hell you want to do. We would hope that you would subscribe, but at the end of the day, you're going to do what you do.
We're going to start getting into stuff where we need to start doing polls probably about what y'all want to hear, what we need to do, stuff where, like we said in the last video, it's kind of, we're taking this one step at a time, not really knowing what the we're doing. So, the best feedback, it can even be a bad thing. Like
any feedback. Is good
any feedback. Like y'all say, dude, the dude in the blue and red shirt's stupid or something like that.
I mean, that's what I say.
Yeah. I know. I say that to myself whenever,
in the mirror before the podcast.
Yeah. Stupid motherfucker saying that shit.
All right. Well, I guess, at the end of the day, I knew mine was better the whole time.
You did.